It's the interview journalists worldwide have wanted to get. Tonight, only on Denver7, ISIS recruited this man's teenage daughter and convinced her to board a plane here in Denver headed for Syria. Now, for the first time, he's telling their story. He sat down with investigative reporter Tony Kowaleski. And Tony, this is a message for all parents here.
Really an important message here, Eric. It's a story that started on social media and ended at an airport in Frankfurt, Germany. 15 months have passed, and now one courageous dad takes you inside a family tragedy. Tonight, Denver7 investigates.
My little daughter is going to go to join ISIS. That's just the worst thing you can just think about. Nothing worse than that.
He's asked us not to show his teenage daughter's picture because her life has finally returned to normal. But he wants to share their story, the story of a family under attack by overseas predators on the internet. How did they get to your daughter?
Social media make it easy for these terrorists in the Middle East to get to our kids here in the United States.
Were there any warning signs?
No.
He describes himself as an active and engaged parent, and he's proud of his close relationship with his daughter.
She's just like a teenager. Nothing wrong with her. There is nothing different from other kids.
Does it rattle your confidence knowing you're an active parent and your daughter hid this from you for a year?
It's just unbelievable. It came out of nowhere.
He says he saw no signs ISIS recruiters were actively luring his daughter and two of her friends. No signs a group of local girls were about to make national and international headlines.
At this hour tonight, the FBI is investigating
3 Denver area teenagers
were stopped in Germany as they tried to make their way to join terror groups in Syria.
Your daughter believed what they were selling.
Sure.
She got on the plane.
Sure.
That was an October Friday afternoon more than a year ago. His daughter and her 2 teenage friends skipped school, took a cab to DIA, and just a few hours before the scheduled departure, they placed nearly $3,000 in cash on the counter for 3 one-way tickets to Istanbul, Turkey, their gateway to Syria. But less than 3 hours before the 3 girls boarded that plane,
when the bus came back at 3:15, my daughter is not on the bus.
So your daughter doesn't get off the bus, she's not answering her phone, and her passport is gone.
Yeah, something horrible happened because this is not my daughter.
He then drove to her school. In the parking lot, on the phone with his son, they discovered this tweet on his daughter's Twitter account.
Asking people to make dua for her, and that means she asked people to ask God to help her with she's gonna do.
He also learned his daughter had made 2 calls that morning, one to Lufthansa Airlines, the second to a cab driver. That cab driver confirmed that earlier in the day he had dropped off 3 teenage girls at the departure curb at Denver International. You put the pieces together and all of a sudden you realized your teenage daughter is on her way to join ISIS.
I can't even talk about it. It is just hard to know. It's hard to deal with that situation. To be honest, I just cried. I don't remember when the last time I cried. But on that day, I cried a lot.
When he called Lufthansa Airlines, he was hoping to block his daughter's trip to the Middle East. But he says the airline refused to confirm if she had purchased a ticket or if she was already on the plane.
My heart dropped because I knew if she got there and crossed in Syria, nobody will be able to get her back.
His next move, a call to the FBI in Denver. After learning the details, agents intervened. Within hours, law enforcement stopped the 3 Colorado teenagers when their plane landed in Frankfurt, Germany, a move that prevented them from continuing on to Turkey and eventually meeting their internet connection to Syria.
If it's not for the FBI, they will never come back. They did a great job in saving my daughter's life.
So ultimately, it was a father's instincts and a series of critical calls that unraveled the road to Syria for 3 Colorado teenagers. Has your daughter realized you may have saved her life?
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
You're Muslim, you immigrated to this country. What do you think of what ISIS did to your daughter?
It's horrible. To be honest with you, if I ever in my life meet that person who lured my daughter to do this, I'll kill him.
ISIS recruiters might see this story on the internet. What do you say to those recruiters that are watching you right now?
I will tell them you are bad people. You are snatching kids from their families.
Now, his daughter and her two friends were detained but not arrested. She is now on a federal no-fly list. Also, she has returned to high school, and he says she's doing well and plans to attend a major university this fall. One other note, the father has sued Lufthansa Airlines for not stepping in and preventing an unaccompanied minor, his daughter, from traveling to the Middle East. The airline declined any comment. Now, we have more on the ISIS recruiting campaign and social media. That's Monday night at 10, right here on Denver 7.